Welcome back to the Common Good. I'm Eric Curry. If someone asked you to describe America in a single sentence, how would you answer? Would you describe our government, our constitution, our military, our economy, or our flag? Or would you describe our people? Today, I want to explore a simple but often overlooked truth. America is more than a government. Governments matter, laws matter, elections matter, but if we reduce America to Washington D.C., we misunderstand what has made this nation endure for nearly 250 years. A government can administer a country. Only people can build a nation. When news breaks each day, our attention is almost always directed towards the government. Congress passed a bill. The president signed an executive order. The Supreme Court issued a ruling. The governor declared a state of emergency. These are these are events that are important because government shapes the framework within which we live. But after the camera turns off, America continues. Teachers return to their classrooms. Parents prepare dinner for their children. Police officers begin another shift. Nurses care for patients. Small business owners unlock their doors. Construction workers build homes. Volunteers coach youth sports. Pastors prepare sermons. Service members stand watch around the world. Millions of Americans quietly perform work that no headline will ever recognize. This is America. The nation exists long after the political debates end. One of the greatest misconceptions in modern politics is believing government alone can solve every problem. Government can establish laws, it can protect rights, it can provide national defense, it can build infrastructure, it can create incentives, it can enforce accountability, but government cannot manufacture trust. It cannot force neighbors to care about one another. It cannot legislate integrity. It cannot create loving families. It cannot make someone honest, and it cannot require compassion. Character has never been produced by legislation alone. Healthy societies require something government cannot provide by itself. They require good citizens. Too often, citizenship becomes something we think about only every few years when it's time to vote. Voting is essential, but citizenship begins long before election day. Citizenship is how we treat the cashier who serves us. It is how we speak to people with whom we disagree. It's whether we return the shopping cart. It's whether we mentor a young person. It's whether we volunteer. It's whether we help our neighbor after a storm. It's whether we keep our word. These actions rarely make national news, yet they determine the character of a nation. Every civilization is ultimately built from millions of ordinary decisions made by ordinary people. People often ask, what makes America exceptional? Some point to our military, others point to our economy, others point to our constitution, and all are significant. But I believe America's greatest resource has always been its people. People willing to innovate, people willing to sacrifice, people willing to work, willing to serve. Throughout history, ordinary Americans have repeatedly risen to extraordinary moments. Farmers became soldiers, immigrants became entrepreneurs, teachers became community leaders, and workers rebuilt cities after disasters. None of these acts require permission from Washington, they require character. If you're enjoying the common good, I invite you to become a part of another effort dedicated to investing in America's future. The Liberty and Justice Scholarship was created to support students who demonstrate leadership, integrity, and a commitment to serving others. The scholarship recipient will be announced in July of 2027. To learn more or contribute, visit ericcurryofficial.com. Every investment in a young person is an investment in the future of our nation. That said, America is built upon institutions, families, schools, churches, businesses, nonprofit organizations, military units. These institutions give structure to society. But institutions are only as healthy as the people inside of them. A school cannot educate effectively without committed teachers. A police department cannot earn public trust without officers of integrity. A business cannot thrive without ethical leadership. Whenever an institution succeeds, people deserve much of the credit. Whenever an institution fails, people must accept much of the responsibility. That's why leadership matters so deeply. Not because leaders are more important than everyone else, but because leadership influences culture. Culture influences behavior, and behavior shapes institutions. One of the greatest temptations in modern society is believing someone else will fix the problem. Someone else should mentor the child, someone else should volunteer, should clean the neighborhood, or serve on the school board. Someone else should run for office, someone else should donate, someone else should speak up. But if everyone waits for someone else, then nothing changes. The founders understood this. Self government requires self governing people. The Constitution assumes citizens possess every virtue to sustain liberty. Without personal responsibility, constitutional government eventually weakens. Freedom survives only when people willingly exercise self restraint. And patriotism is often misunderstood. Some people believe patriotism means believing America has never made mistakes. History, however, tells us otherwise. Others believe patriotism requires constant criticism, that it that is incomplete as well. Real patriotism tells the truth. It celebrates what deserves celebration. It confronts what requires correction. It loves the country enough to improve it without hating the people who inhabit it. Love without honesty becomes blind nationalism. Honesty without love becomes cynicism. Patriotism requires both. Every morning across this country, millions of people wake up determined to make life a little better for someone else. Most will never receive awards. Most will never become famous. Most will never hold public office. Yet together, they keep America moving. They teach, they heal, they protect, they build, farm, invent, coach, mentor, they raise families, they volunteer, and they serve. This is the America that deserves our attention. not because government is important, but because government was created to serve a free people, not to replace them. America has always been strongest when citizens understood that freedoms carry responsibility. America is more than a government. It is millions of people choosing every day to contribute something larger than themselves. It is neighbors helping neighbors, families raising children, communities solving problems, leaders serving rather than ruling, citizens accepting responsibility instead of waiting for someone else to act. Government established the framework, people, however, determine the future. As we continue this journey together, remember this: the strength of a republic is measured not only by the wisdom of its laws, but by the character of its citizens. Thank you for joining me for another episode of The Common Good. If this conversation challenged you or encouraged you, I hope you'll subscribe, share this episode with a friend, and continue asking the question that guides this entire series: how does this contribute to the common good? Until next time, I'm Eric Curry. Take care and let's continue the work of leaving America better than we found it.